Okay, so I'm just going to do this. I met up with a friend today, a guy I hadn't seen in a bunch of years. We kind of crossed paths on a project I had been working on years ago, and he had been working with a company that I was involved with, and he was sort of an advisor and kind of helped me out. Flash forward about 15 years later, he called me up the other day and was like, hey, I'd love to meet up with you. I have this project that I'm working on, and I would love for you to kind of be me what I was to you. So I want to pitch you my concept of my startup and get your feedback on it and just also allow me just to pitch it. In the meantime, him and I got to talking about a number of other things like world affairs, politics, American culture, what's going on in the world. And there's a project that I've been sort of procrastinating on, I guess you could say, and something that's been really burning inside me that I really have been wanting to do, but haven't found exactly the right way to do it or the perfect way to do it, I guess I should say. So he basically said to me, he's like, fuck it, man, just do it. Just go out there, make an ass of yourself, put yourself out there. Who gives a shit? The concept is a great one, and it's good for the world, and you're already kind of doing it. It's just that you're not doing it formally. So, in a nutshell, here I am. And what this concept is, this project that I want to get started, is the hashtag Stop Hating project. So, Stop Hating is a movement essentially about bringing people together that are from opposite spectrums politically and in whatever way. People who hate on each other for having opposing ideas essentially. So rather than people being able to discuss these ideas in the way our world is today, is like you can't, certain things are just not allowed. You can't take a certain point of view or question what's politically correct because you're going to be canceled or you're going to be shamed or you're going to be called this name or that name. And my whole concept behind it is no, we not only should be allowed to voice different opinions, but we need to voice different opinions. Because if we stifle them, if we bury them, if we hide them, then nothing will ever come out of it that's positive. You can't live your life hiding your beliefs because you're worried that somebody's going to disagree with you or fight with you or hate you. And the thing about it is that nobody should be hated on because of a different opinion, especially politically. Okay, we can have differences of opinion and be able to talk to each other. Last week, I went down to the Israeli consulate, and there was a Palestinian Day of Rage. Okay, is what they were calling it, and they were opposing the potential annexation of certain cities in Judea and Samaria, what you might know as the West Bank. We'll talk about that another time. The point of my story is that I went down there and I engaged with people who were quote unquote on the other side, Palestinians. And I met these four brothers, and the four of them and me, talked for about 2 hours. And what was amazing was that we listened to each other. Um, they let me present my point of view, and I listened to their point of view. And at the end, I can honestly say that I left really feeling good. Like we were both able to express our opinions, although we basically didn't agree on much of anything. I can say, though, that because we had an opportunity to speak to each other and to listen to each other, more importantly, was that they told me at the end that there were certain things that they acknowledged that they had never heard before, a side of the story that they had never been aware of. And there was quite a few people around when we were talking, and one in particular came up to me afterwards, and I didn't know if he was, agreeing with me, not agreeing with me, just an observer, whatever. And he came up to me. He was a young dude. He had just graduated from Berkeley, and he thanked me for um, having this conversation with these guys and educating him on what was going on, because he was there just as an observer. And he said he witnessed a lot of different conversations, but the conversation that I had was the most influential to him, because I didn't fight with these guys, although there was about 5 people at the end that came over and tried to agitate the whole situation and wanted to fight and wanted to argue. Fortunately, nothing went down like that, and we were able to keep it civil. And what I left away with that was, this is the only way forward, is that you have to first and foremost be willing to listen to other people, because when you listen to somebody else, even if you don't agree with them, you're allowing them the space to express their point of view, and you're not just immediately shutting them down and arguing with them. And this is really what I want to create with this movement, the Stop Hating movement. Okay, it's hashtag Stop Hating. Is that we should not be hating on each other for having a difference of opinion. Now, we may strongly disagree with certain positions or points of view, and that's fine. That's fine. We can live with that, because if we don't, then our society is going to completely crumble, and we're not going to be able to talk to each other. And I want to just go back to, because I kind of glossed over in the beginning what led to this. So in 2016 was the election, was Hillary and Trump. And leading up to the election, there was so much just hatred flying around. It continues to this day. I mean, you see it. It's like, if you don't agree with this, then, you should die, or you're Hitler, shit like that is just constantly being thrown around. It's just like insane. And there was a girl that I grew up with who I've known her since high school. And sorry, I'm just pulling this up as we're talking. And when the election happened, she posted something that really just was shocking to me. It was just one of the most shocking things that I could think of, that somebody that I grew up with would say basically to half of her friends or whoever, and just somehow thought that this would be an okay thing to say. And this is what prompted me to come up with the hashtag Stop Hating. Stophating.com is the website if you want to go there and join up and be part of this. Okay, but I'm just going to read you what she wrote. Okay, this is 32 minutes after the election results. Fuck you, you sick fucking assholes who voted for Trump. This is America you will be making us live in, you pieces of shit. I hope you all fucking shoot each other with your guns in the head, you money-grubbing, misogynistic, racist, bigot, fear-mongering fucking assholes. And don't get me started on third party and protest votes. Y'all should be fucking shoot yourselves in the head, you selfish pieces of shit. Okay. This is a girl that I would completely consider my friend up to this point. And even if she wasn't, it's just the venom and hatred is just completely... I mean, this is why people voted for Trump. Because they were so sick of being bullied into only having the accepted opinion. Now, whether you did or you didn't is completely irrelevant. Whether you voted for him or not, or you voted for Hillary, or voted for Gary Johnson. The point being is that our country, as you can see, we're basically 4 years, almost 4 years from that moment when that that started, when those words came out of her mouth. And you see where we're at today. We have riots in the street, looting, burning, people just hating each other. Friendships ended. People who don't talk to each other, family members don't talk to each other. Um, and this is really what I want to counter with this movement is the whole idea is just please stop hating, start talking to each other. Okay, let's stop hating, start talking, and it's one conversation at a time. And hopefully, this will just be the beginning of it. And that's it. I started.